been here since day one. Please make sure you like, share on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page at the Sports Plug. And if you are on Twitch, we are on Twitch as well at the Sports Plug. Ish, hey, we got some crazy breaking news a week before the Super Bowl.
Man.
Um, we weren't really planning on having a scheduled video for today because we kind of wanted to take a week off. The NFL said, "Forget what you guys are talking about. We're going to make you guys work." And I am
Hey,
not mad. Hey, I'm not mad at all because we have our first blockbuster trade of the 2021 year. We can't really say season yet because technically we're still in the 2020 season. So for
yeah.
2021 of the year, we have our first official blockbuster trade. And I don't know about you, Ish, but this is very eyebrow raising. You want to go ahead and have a couple seconds on this?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, eyebrow raising. Like when I saw it come through, and matter of fact, I think I was in the middle of doing something. You sent a message to the group chat, and you said that he got traded, and I was thinking like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I went and I saw what the trade actually was, and I was kind of confused. Like, man, really? But I'm hearing reports though that there are multiple teams that offered their first rounder this year. So I guess in that context, it makes sense at what they did. But at the same time, I'm still scratching my head at this trade.
So what you're saying is you look like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly how I looked at the phone. Like
Okay. All right.
they probably took a picture of me right there because hey, that is exactly how I looked at the phone when I saw that. 2 first round picks. I was like, whoa. Because remember, we have been talking about this all season about some of the other big names that potentially might be on the move
And
in
I'll
the
bring that
offseason.
up right quick just to give everybody a heads up and bring back that picture as well. Deshaun
Mm-hmm.
Watson, Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Jimmy G, Cam Newton, Teddy Bridgewater, Mitch Trubisky, Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Alex Smith, and Big Ben. And with those two guys, of course, Matt Stafford and Jared Goff, those two are off the list now.
Yep. And I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, with all the moves that were potentially going to happen, I think a lot of people thought maybe the value. I think people were thinking they were going to go with value picks, right? Like people were going to try to make deals that were worth good value. And I think there's an argument to be had about whether or not Matt Stafford is worth that much. I think that is an argument to be had. Now he's a good quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I do feel like this makes the Rams a lot better. I do feel like, and we'll get into this in a little bit. It gives them a better shot. However, I still question a 32-year-old quarterback for 2 first-round picks, and you traded a 26-year-old quarterback in that package. I think I would feel a little bit better had they done the 2 first-round picks and kept Jared Goff, or maybe did 1 first-round pick and then Jared Goff. I think the total package is what I'm kind of raising my eyebrows about as when it comes to 2 first-round picks and a younger quarterback who potentially could have benefited from sitting behind Matt Stafford. Now, there is something to say about the cap space because he was going to be a $43 million cap hit, and this made sense to get that off the books.
You're 100% correct. What I also will show everyone as well, because I brought this up, of course, in the show previously, because there is a lot of speculation with Matt Stafford. There are some people that feel like he is the GOAT of Detroit, and there are some people that feel like he is a mediocre, above average quarterback, which is understandable. But I thought this stat was very interesting. I understand these two guys have two different types of careers, so I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm just looking at the fact that these are the only two quarterbacks with this type of stats of 45,000 yards and under 150 interceptions. I just thought that was very interesting. I'm not saying Matt Stafford is Aaron Rodgers. What I'm just saying is I feel like the LA Rams, even though they did give up a lot, they did. With them bringing in a guy like Matt Stafford, who is motivated, has a strong arm. That arm has not decreased in the last couple of years, and let's be real. This is this opportunity to revamp himself, to have people look at him in a different light, to where instead of people just just thinking Matt Stafford, the Lions, okay, nobody cares about you. Now you're in a big market in LA. You have an opportunity to most likely make the playoffs if they keep everything together. And now Matt Stafford has an opportunity to again redeem himself and put himself in a conversation with trying to be an elite quarterback amongst the NFL, right? Because when we think of Matt Stafford, we think of good. Just not great because he played for the Lions. But with him playing with the Rams now, that he has an opportunity to redeem himself. Let's get into the comments right quick. My uncle Jason Williams says Stafford's going to do worse than Goff. We got 2 first rounders. A lot of yeses. He says he's mediocre. Rams GM should be fired. He calls him Matt Stafford. But, hey, again, one thing I will say, as a Titans fan, a lot of people thought Ryan Tannehill wasn't that good. Shouldn't have been able to play for the Titans in the first place. Should be out of the league. The system that he was in, it allows him to benefit in the system, and Ryan Tannehill looks really decent in that system.
Are you saying that about Stafford, or are you saying that about Jared Goff?
I'm saying that about Stafford. I think Stafford being in the system that the Rams are going to be in, I think is going to be very beneficial for Stafford. And I really think the Rams will make a run next year compared to what they did last year. Remember, and of course, plenty of episodes I said, I feel like the Rams are going to make it to the NFC Championship game this year. Unfortunately, they fell short. But they're bringing back that defense. They're bringing back those offensive players. You got a young Cam Akers. You got Robert Woods.
Boy, I was just about to say.
I'm just saying, like, you have a squad with that Ram squad that Matt Stafford, as long as you don't mess it up, I think the Rams are right back into NFC title contention.
I think, and I definitely feel like this was their statement of, like, we're putting it all in right now, right? Like, let's not make any mistakes about it. They know what they gave up. They know what this means. I mean, everybody in that office, in the front office, everybody down to Sean McVay knows exactly what this means. If you don't get it done, all of y'all are losing y'all's jobs. Like, that's what you signed up for with this deal. This deal right here was all of them putting their jobs on the line and saying we felt like we were a quarterback away from winning, which I would argue they were. If you got better quarterback play from them, they possibly could pull that game out in Green Bay and move forward and play against Tom Brady, and who knows what happens against Tampa Bay, right?
I agree.
Because that defense is like Aaron Donald is that man. Jalen Ramsey is that man. Like, those two guys alone, with the people that they have around them as well, stepping up here and there, I believe that defense is a championship winning defense. The problem they didn't have a quarterback that could actually take advantage of that. And they feel like if we get a guy that can maybe play up there with, and you already put the stats up, play up there with Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's of the world, put the stats up like them, maybe we can win a Super Bowl. And they know exactly what they did with this deal. I still think it's a bad deal. It's a big
gamble. It's a big gamble for the Rams. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about LA and all sports, football, basketball, or baseball. We just saw with the Lakers. Just 5 years ago, they were trash, laughing stock in the NBA. Everybody wanted to laugh at the Lakers because, Kobe's going this, that, and the third. You get LeBron in, you get a couple of players, and all of a sudden you win a title, and now everybody on hush mouth. Same thing in baseball with the Dodgers. Dodgers kept on almost getting there, almost winning. They finally won, and now everybody, is hush mouth. I'm not saying the Rams are going to win a Super Bowl, but what I'm saying is it puts them right back in contention for them to at least make a run at it.
Your Uncle Wildin in the comments. But Wildin for saying the Lions will win a Super Bowl before the Rams. The Lions need to worry about winning some games.
Look. Lions fans, they just let them be. They very. Let me get to the comments right quick. All right. Jason was talking about he has Henry, talking about Ryan Tannehill. That is, I understand that, but also Marcus Mariota did, and Marcus was playing with the Las Vegas Raiders, so we can save that for another day. Ryan also says gave up everything. Hope it works.
Yep,
we do as well. title contention. We're talking about NFC title. We're not talking about the playoffs. I'm sorry, we're not talking about Super Bowl. And also, Lions will win a Super Bowl before the Rams. Yes,
That man
in
that's crazy.
21-21. That's when that will happen.
That is
21-21. That's when that will happen. It's not happening. I'm sorry. Not happening.
mean-
The Houston Texans will win a Super Bowl before the Detroit Lions.
Wow.
The Houston Texans will win a Super Bowl before Detroit. Look, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan.
They're both dysfunctional.
Thank you, Ryan.
I'm not gonna.
They're both horrible. So please stop.
I'm not gonna bet on either one.
Yes, Goff made it to a Super Bowl
He
because
made
of
it
the
to the
system
Super
that he
Bowl
was
in
in.
Sean McVay.
Because of the system that he was in. What are we talking about?
He made it in
Because Sean McVay pretty much spoon-fed him the offense and said, hey, don't mess this up. That's pretty much what he did. Matt Stafford is a real quarterback that we can, I'm assuming, that will be able to have some type of responsibility on the offensive side that Sean McVay might be able to sit back and say, you know what? I don't have to worry too much about this quarterback because he knows what he's doing and he can make checks at the line. If he sees something, he can audible out of it. We saw that a little bit from Jared Goff, but we didn't really see that much. If he saw something in film, okay, we'll check out of that cute little play, this, that, and third. But
so let me ask, because this is what's funny to me about the Lions fans, right? Because Lions fans now, y'all are saying like, oh, y'all got first round picks. Jared Goff made it to a Super Bowl. Stafford this, Stafford that, yada yada. My question is, who has the better weapons? Did Jared Goff have better weapons in LA, or did Matt Stafford have better weapons in Detroit? Like, who do we realistically say have better weapons?
I mean, if you want to, I could bring this up right quick. We could bring up the key potential players for the Rams in 2021. You have Cam Akers, Robert Woods, Matt Stafford should be leading to him. Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee on the defensive side, Michael Brockers, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and Darius Williams. So all I'm saying is with Stafford stepping into this situation, it automatically trumps for what the Lions have done after Megatron, period.
But that's my point is Detroit doesn't have the weapons. So y'all saying that Goff made it to the Super Bowl, he made it to the Super Bowl with the weapons that the Rams have. It's not like he was making people around him better. Like, he made it with better weapons. You're taking him to a place where y'all historically have not done well with the weapons that you even acquire. And I would say the excitement about these first round picks, remember, you have to hit on those first round picks.
People love getting first round picks and missing. A lot of first round misses. It's a lot of first round misses out here.
It's one thing to be excited about having the first round picks and the potential, but potential is an enemy, really, when we talk about actually being able to go out there and make the selection, because who knows who you select next year in the first round? Who knows who you select the year after that in the first round? Like, I just don't like the excitement about, like, when we just go player for player, you got the worst of the deal.
You really think, first of all, Stafford, not Stratford, that's a high school in Houston, will make it to a Super Bowl. Honestly, again, we have to wait and see. I don't play in a really tough division next year. The NFC West is going to be stacked again. You got the Rams. You got the 49ers should be fully healthy. You go to have Seattle right back in it, and the Rams, of course, going to be there. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. Lee says it's too early for this man to be drinking. Hey, I think him and KC. I think KC must have sent him a beer from last week. That's must be what happened because I love you, but you on that hen dog. You on that hen dog. I'm just saying. Once again, I said before, the Rams. All right, so let's talk about who won the trade, because most people, of course, feel like the Lions won the trade because the Rams gave up too much. I'll start off with my soliloquy right quick, and I stated on my Facebook page that I feel like both teams won the trade. And I know that sounds crazy. But like we talked about, Ish, we don't know what the Lions are going to do with those first round picks. Just because you have first round picks does not mean that you're going to hit on them. And most likely, if the Rams are good, which they probably are, they are not going to be top 15 picks. They're going to be bottom half top 15 picks, which is actually not bad. If you really think about it, it really is not bad. But you might miss out on a guy that you really wanted to get. So we have to wait and see what happens, because with trades like this, it's kind of like last year with Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson trade, right? Diggs makes an automatic impact for the Buffalo Bills because he's ready to get plugged in and play, right? Justin Jefferson is a great piece for the Vikings, but we don't know what his potential will be in the next 3 to 5 years. It can be better, it can be the same, or it can be worse than Diggs. That's why we have to wait and see what happens when everything unfolds. But at the moment, I think the Rams seriously, not they didn't. I don't think they won the trade, but they got what they wanted. They got the quarterback that they got a quarterback that feels like to them that can take them to the next level. Right? That's what it looked like to me.
So I will say this, okay? I'm kind of on the same page with you as far as I think that it's kind of a tie at the moment. Only because, let me say this, each team kind of got what they needed, right? With the Rams, you got a quarterback that you feel is an upgrade to Jared Goff that potentially puts you back in the race with the NFC West, which you were already in it this year with Jared Goff. So if you feel like you got an upgrade, at this point, you're in a better spot than you were this year. And you were in a really good spot. So I feel like for them, they won on their part, right? But I also feel like the Lions are winning on their part because this gives them the ammunition they need to make certain moves that they probably couldn't make before. So like we're saying, with first round picks, the problem you have is you have to hit on that first round pick. You got to do your research, and then you got to get a player that actually ends up working out for you, right? Or you can use your draft capital that if you fall in love with like a specific player, you now have the draft capital to make these kind of moves to go up and get the quarterback of the future if you're not happy with Jared Goff next year, right? Let's say Jared Goff doesn't hit in 2021. You want to make a move. You now have the capital you need to move up and get somebody. You can be in that conversation now, right? If you need to move up and get a different player that's not necessarily a quarterback, you have the capital. Or you can hold on to them and you can make these 4 picks over the next 2 years. And, even if 50% hits, you still got 50% of that, and you could win this trade depending on the players and the impact they have on your team. So I feel like it's kind of a win-win on both sides, or to me, it's a lose-lose, because really the Rams, you lost because you gave too much up. Detroit, you lost because you gave up Stafford for God.
Stupid. Now, look, let me bring up this comment from Lee, because this is really what I want to talk about, because this is the perfect comment, and this is a game changer for an upcoming Watson trade. If Stafford is worth a young QB, 2 first rounders and a third, does this increase Watson's worth now? Hell yes, it does. Hell yeah, it does.
And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because what we thought, remember, we were talking about earlier in the season about what we thought, like how people think, oh, this person's going to go for a first rounder. And then when the trade actually comes out, they end up going for like a third or, a second, or a conditional second or something. Mm-hmm. And we're always like, how is that player going for a second or third? If I'm the Texans, maybe I start entertaining more calls, because this just put Watson out of. If I'm the Texans, I'm not taking less than 4. I want 4 first-round picks. I want 4, unless you're sending a quarterback with it. Which, if you're sending a quarterback, then I want 3 first-round picks. I want 2 seconds, and I want the player. I just think they're going to be able to hold anybody at ransom. That's kind of why, if I'm the rest of the league, if I'm the Jets or the Dolphins, I'm calling the Rams up and I'm lighting into that front office, because you just set everybody else up to fail. Because now the Jets really got to come with it. The Dolphins really got to come with it. If you want Deshaun Watson, you are going to give up no less than 3 first-round picks, unless Cal McNair somehow finds the inner Bill O'Brien in himself, and they decide that they're going to go ahead and give this man up for 1 first-round pick and a bag of chips.
Don't forget a Jolly Rancher, too.
Jolly Rancher, yep.
And a Capri Sun.
That, too. I mean, they take anything. Houston will take anything for their best players. They don't care.
All right, let's get to the comments right quick. I'm still trying to figure this one out. So, no, Megatron is a bum. Galladay, too, at least know what you're talking about. So,
he's saying now Megatron is a bum. Nobody said Megatron.
Nobody's ever said that. Megatron is easy, a top 10 wide receiver ever.
Who they have right now? They got Galladay, and then who else they got? I mean, when you comparing their weapons,
Them boys don't even have what's Golden Tate anymore. Shout out to TTV Homie 85 on YouTube. He says, "Do the Lions have number 7 pick? Who do you think the Lions will draft there at number 7?" I'm a Lions fan. At the moment, to be completely honest, because of the new head coach, I honestly don't know where they're going to go draft-wise. I wouldn't be surprised because you are adding Goff. You might want to add another receiver or offensive lineman to protect that offense, but we have to wait and see because of what the head coach with the Lions, he is a defensive guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he is focusing more on the defensive side, but we just have to wait and see. We will have episodes of the draft upcoming. We promise to have that, so please stay tuned for that.
If I'm saying who are they going to pick at the 7 right now? Earlier, I would say they were trending towards a quarterback to maybe
Justin Fields or
now,
Zach Wilson from BYU.
Got Goff. I'm thinking at this point, if Devontae Smith dropped down to you, I might go with that. I mean, I'm just saying. I think he's gone. I think he's gone before 3. I agree, but you might get lucky with the run of quarterbacks. Maybe some of these teams might feel they need it, and I might go down and get a quarterback. I might get a lineman depending on the spot. Really, I think they're just going to get best player at the position.
I feel like if you want to hit and you want to make sure that you protect Goff, especially coming off of his thumb is going to be fine by the time the season starts. But I'm just saying, mentally, knowing that he's comfortable in the pocket in Detroit, beef up that line, make sure it's right for him so he can be able to perform the way he needs to perform in Detroit. All right, let's get back to the comments right quick. And Stafford is 954 against winning teams. Hello, I'm done. I don't really know what Detroit and playing in Detroit. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what him playing for Detroit have to do with him playing for the Rams now. These are two different teams, so we have to wait and see what his record is with the Rams. The Rams on the short term won this trade. That's from Greg Turner. Sean Lee said Galladay is gone. He's a free agent. So there you go. Landon Logden says, you said if you think Matt Stafford is believed to be good, do you believe he is that good? Ish, you want to go ahead and chime in on that one?
I believe he's an upgrade to Jared Goff. So, yeah, they believe that he was better than Goff. I agree in their assessment that he is better than Goff. He puts them in a better spot. I mean, we've already thrown the stat up there that, of the quarterbacks in the NFL, there are only 2 who have thrown for over 450,000 yards in
45,000 yards under 150 interceptions.
There's only 2, Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford. And Matt Stafford, I have to say it, right? That's better than Jared Goff. Jared Goff, he's had his opportunity, and Jared Goff has not done anything for them. Really, they should have won that game in Green Bay. I would have picked the Rams in Green Bay if it wasn't Jared Goff at quarterback. If they had Matt Stafford this year, I would have picked the Rams in Green Bay because they had the defense to win. They just need a quarterback. Stafford is a upgrade to Goff. I'm not saying he's the best in the league, but I think that Stafford's an upgrade to Goff. That's not to say that Goff can't go to Detroit and do some things for the Lions because he is young. He's still learning. He can get better and he can be an elite quarterback. But I just think at this time, Stafford's better than him.
All right, in the comment section, if you are tuning in, please go ahead and comment who you think won the trade. Do you feel like the Lions won the trade? Do you feel like the Rams won the trade? Do you feel like it was a tie? It was a push? Do you feel like both teams won the trade? Please let us know in the comments section. We're going to get right back to the comments right quick from TTV Homie P85. I don't know what that handle is, but please let me know what that's about. It's pretty cool. I like it. Did the Lions get some good coaches? Like I said, head coach Dan Campbell. I'm still waiting to see how he fills out the rest of the coach staff. I haven't really been paying attention to his coaching staff hire at the moment, but when I get some more information, again, we'll definitely let all my Lions fans out there know. He said that's what confuses me about that. Why would we draft another quarterback if we got Jared Goff? No, this was not. Yeah, but this was before Jared Goff got traded. This was when Stafford was still there. There was projection that the Lions were going to get a quarterback, so we have to wait and see. Do the Lions have good running backs? I mean, you had an aging Adrian Peterson and he was splitting carries. Yeah, he was splitting carries with Swift. So I mean, Swift could be. Yeah, I said Swift could be the main back. But the question is, he's a Georgia guy. Georgia, they about running backs. He could be the guy. The question is, will the Lions allow him to be the guy? We have to wait and see. Would the Lions draft any good running backs?
No.
I don't know. We have to wait
Not
and
at
see.
7.
What wide receivers? What wide receivers could the Lions pick up, and what running backs could they pick up?
So they won't pick up a running back at 7. If the right receiver drops to 7, they'll pick up. So like Devontae Smith is mentioned. What's my man's name from LSU that didn't play this year? I'm drawing a blank. Chase. Chase. If Chase drops to 7, potentially they might go with Chase. I feel like they might get a weapon if they feel like. I think they need a weapon on the offensive side, especially with Galladay leaving. I think they need a wide receiver. You might as well get one, Chase or Smith, if they're available. You probably gonna get them at 7. You're not gonna get a running back there, and I doubt they get a quarterback now.
All right, I just want to let people know that's tuning in right now. Just a little fun fact about Jared Goff ties it right back into one of my favorite teams, Tennessee Titans. Do people remember the last time that the Rams made a trade for the number 1 pick? I'm sorry, that gave up all their picks for the number 1 pick and got Jared Goff. Do they remember the picks that the Tennessee Titans made for those exchange of picks?
Nobody cares about the Oilers, so
that's perfectly fine.
Nobody knows what those picks were.
That's perfectly fine. I'm gonna let them know. Thank you very much. They drafted Derrick Henry, Juno Smith, and they also drafted another tight end that's not on the team. So out of those 2 or 3, you made some pretty good picks, right?
Yeah.
So we just have to wait and see what happens with the Lions. They can make some great picks that could be on their team for the next 5-10 years, or they can make some misses that won't be on the team in 2 years. So we have to wait and see what happens. Landon says, I'm not sold on everything. It all depends on what comes with the picks. I 100% agree. Rams won, but I can't wait to see what McVay does with Stafford on offense. I agree with you as well on that one,
I'm
Alex.
About that.
And thank you for chiming in on that one, Landon, with the Derrick Henry comment. So, all right, so to finish off for today, again, if you guys are in the comment section, please let us know. Does this trade make the LA Rams a contender in the NFC in 2021? Does this trade put them right back in the thick of things? And instead of losing in the first round, in the second round against Aaron Rodgers, do they beat Aaron Rodgers or maybe even Russell Wilson in the second round, whoever it is that they play in the second round, and are able to make it to an NFC title game? If you feel that way, let us know. If you do not feel that way, let us know. And Ish, how do you feel about it?
I will say this: they were already a contender, even with Jared Goff at quarterback. So yes, I think that this puts them up in that conversation. You definitely are going to have to respect the Rams when it comes to talking about who could win. Now, I still feel like they have stuff to prove. So I'm not necessarily going to say like, oh yeah, I think they're going to contend for an NFC Championship game. I just believe that this puts them more so in the conversation, right? Because if with Jared Goff and the backup quarterback, they can beat Seattle, who won that division, right? They beat them twice this year. If they can beat, Arizona with Kyler Murray and knock them out of the playoffs and get into the playoffs with Jared Goff, you got to think this makes them a little bit better. New Orleans is going to possibly be a step back. They won't have Drew Brees moving forward, most likely. So, maybe they take that spot away from them. You still got Tom Brady and the Buccaneers that you're going to have to worry about. You still got Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. You still got Seattle and all those things. But the bigger question for me is, because it's hard to say right now with all of the uncertainty left in the offseason, right? Because if I am San Francisco and they just made this trade,
Deshaun Watson.
I just feel like it just makes sense if I'm San Francisco now to say, I got to throw it all at Deshaun Watson. And, maybe, just maybe, Deshaun Watson and Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco, I would argue it will make the NFC West, without a doubt, the best division in football, because they will think of the quarterbacks you would have in that division.
Oh, trust me, I'm thinking.
Kyler Murray. You're going to have Deshaun Watson, and you're going to have Matt Stafford. Like, that is going to be a division that you're going to have the quarterback of the future.
You're gonna have to win every game. Every game matters in that division.
So, I mean, I think there's still, it's hard to say exactly where they fit in the NFC right now because there's so much uncertainty left to go in this offseason. If San Francisco can pull off Deshaun Watson, I don't know. I might feel San Francisco more because what San Francisco did this season without a quarterback, without a lot of their players, all those injuries. If I'm in the NFC West, I'm kind of scared about what San Francisco can do when they're healthy. If we're
No, I agree.
honest.
I agree. No, I agree. And I've said that all season long with the Rams. I mean, with the 49ers. And there were games that they won that they shouldn't have won, right? You know, they played against a team that, they're going to lose. They don't have enough players. And they end up beating a team like they're not supposed to beat. I think it was the Cardinals game that they beat the Cardinals. And, we saw the Cardinals trending upward and they lost to that game. We're just like, why are they losing to the 49ers? But at the end of the day, they're coached very well. I have to give it up to Kyle Shanahan. Some of these jobs that, let's be real. We look at some people get certain jobs and it's because, their daddy or this or that. And I will say with Kyle Shanahan, he's definitely so far he's proven his thing, but we have to wait and see what more years what happens with him. All right, check out the comment section right quick before we get up out of here. Greg says it does not make them contenders. Lee says they were already a contender. Stafford is a solid upgrade to Goff. I think immediate contention. Landon also says I think Stafford was hyped up because of solid numbers from Megatron for years.
That could be.
Again, I understand that as well. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm just saying he was still able to sustain 3,000 plus yards passing after Megatron years. So that's something to look into as well. Also, TTV says, do you think the Lions can pick up some cornerbacks? He says he feels like they need some cornerbacks. Now, I will say Surtain from Alabama.
Yeah. Surtain,
if you need a cornerback, that is the guy. He might be the next Revis. He might be in the NFL for the next 15 years, literally shutting down half of the field. So that might be the guy that if I'm the Lions organization, you might want to go after. Why did the Lions pick up Jared Goff? Because that's what they wanted to do.
But to answer your question, because your following comment, you say you thought they were going to get a quarterback this year's draft. When you have the option between drafting somebody who is not proven in the NFL and somebody who has made it to a Super Bowl, I think you're going to choose the guy that's made it to the Super Bowl every time.
Yes, sir.
He's proven that he can win in the league. He's done it before. He's young. He's only 26. Like I said, this is not just because I'm saying Stafford is better than Goff does not mean that the Lions are done or Goff is going to go to Detroit and be a bum. What I'm saying is, for the time being, yes, I think that this helped the Rams because Stafford is better than Goff. But I still believe Detroit has a good guy in Goff, and he could become really, really good. Like, if you put the weapons around him, he could be successful. If you put him in the right system and you set him up to succeed, he could be really good. It's the same for me, like when we talk about Lamar Jackson in Baltimore and some of the play calling that happens in Baltimore, and everybody's scratching their head like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you doing this with Lamar Jackson? Like, you're not using him the right way. I think the same can be said for most of these quarterbacks that go into systems and they just don't they just not calling the right plays. They're not putting them in the right system because they feel like, oh, you should conform to my system instead of me conforming to what kind of player you are. So Goff could be really good. It just depends on what they do around him. They've got to draft the right players around him. They got to put the right schemes around him and allow him to do what strengthens his game. And then, the Lions could be trending up. You guys could trend up. I don't believe it because your organization's dysfunctional, but sure, it might happen.
I will say this though, and on a serious note, because I have Jason still watching in and tuning in, and I appreciate that. I'm very excited to see what the Lions do moving forward because I think the Lions can seriously, upgrade from this. You adding Jared Goff and you add whatever pieces that you want to add to take. I'm not saying that the Lions are going to win 10 games and, going to change it over just like that. But they had a good thing with Jim Caldwell. And the organization is the one that stopped that. They said they wanted to get better. You hired Matt Patricia, and now you're here where you're at. Okay, what Ish and I are getting at is It's not on the players when it comes to the Detroit Lions. You had Barry Sanders. You had Megatron. You had Matt Stafford. We're not saying that the players there in Detroit are bad or anything like that. It's the organization at the end of the day. Is the organization are going to allow the team to succeed? That's what we have to wait and see. The Lions have been around for 80 years. I mean, come on now. Like, this is 80, almost 100 years. Like, this is disrespectful to try to make it seem like, oh, because you added Jared Goff, all of a sudden the Lions are just back in contention. Like, come on now, stop.
I wouldn't, to your uncle who's saying.
I got it. I'm about to bring it up.
He's saying
apparently we need to watch more football because Goff is better than
I'm not even addressing that one because I mean I think that's opinion. Some people may actually feel like Goff is better.
That's perfectly fine. That's opinions. That's fine.
We'll see what happens in Detroit. But to him saying the number 7 pick, they should pick a wide receiver and Waddle's a sleeper. I don't think he's necessarily a sleeper, and I'll be a little concerned about the injury he had and the fact that he came in that national championship game and tried to play.
And honestly, Ish, and I just want to comment on that. I honestly think that was the dumbest thing for him to do. Look, I got that. You want to play with your team, national championship, all that good stuff. Look, I got it. But I've seen personally from high school to college, guys play their last game, blow out their knee, and never able to make it to the NFL. Or make it to the NFL and not have a career the way they're supposed to.
And I would just say this. I kind of feel like with Waddle, I feel like he's great. I feel like he's going to be awesome. But I would caution teams in saying that he kind of reminds me of Henry Ruggs, who went to Las Vegas, and we saw how that kind of worked out this year. We see that he and Mike Mayock are kind of having some issues now.
Mike Mayock made a comment about the first rounders not being up to par, and up to their standard and whatnot. So
that's kind of the vibe I get from Waddle. He's a totally different guy. I think he's going to be better, but I would say same system, kind of the same position. If you don't put him in the right place to succeed, it could be a problem. Also, with Galladay leaving, you need a number 1. Don't do what Baltimore has done in drafting Marquise Brown and trying to make him a number 1.
Whoa, Hollywood. You don't think Hollywood without on speed? You don't think
he's not a number 1? He's
I'm
not
joking.
a number 1
I'm joking.
Well, no, because really there's
it's the Raven fans. It's the Raven fans.
He's not a number 1 receiver.
It's the Raven fans.
The same with Waddle. I don't think Waddle's a number 1. I think Waddle needs to go somewhere where he can be in the slot and make.
He could be Juju. He could be Juju for somebody.
Yeah. Like, I think that's the situation he needs. I don't want him to go to Detroit because y'all need a number 1, and I definitely want y'all to get Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase. If you get one of those guys, man, let me just say right now, Uncle Williams, I'm going to holler at you if y'all get one of them, all right? Because I may have to come up there. I got some family around Detroit. May have to come up there.
You ain't about that life, Ish. You ain't about to come through the D.
Come see some of that if y'all get one of those guys, because I think that could be special. With Swift, I think Swift was really starting to pick it up at the end of the season. I think that with Goff now, if you give Swift the ball, you allow him to set the running game, and y'all get somebody like Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase to go along with that run game that you already have, that could be special. That would be real special. But I mean, you have to wait and see.
Yes, sir. Let me tune into the comments right quick. Greg says, if Watson goes to the 49ers, that's 4 Pro Bowl caliber QBs in one division. How do the Rams compete with that? I'm not sure. Of course, it's a hypothetical on Watson going to the 49ers. Well, the way that the Rams will be able to compete with that is they have number 1 defense in the NFL. So that stops that. So I got you on that one, Greg. Lee says, X gonna have to get his uncle under control at the next family reunion. Yeah, we'll be fine. Trust me, we haven't had one in about 20 years. I don't think we'll be having one anytime soon. So Uncle can get that one situated. They need to get Goff a running game because that is when Goff plays the best. Let's be real, Alex. That's when any quarterback plays the best. I mean, that's any. I mean, you think about it. Any quarterback from Tom Brady all the way to Timbuktu. If you have a running game, we're going to go to the next comment. Alrighty then. I hate you so much. Landon says, this is great. Uncle Jason says, Lions are 2 years away. Hollywood's not a number 1. Yes, we know. We were just joking on that. Smith will be gone.
I agree with that.
Smith will be gone. Waddle will be in the slot. We have a running back already. Yes, we know. But again, this is a league that you need 2 running backs. We're in the league where you need 2 running backs now. Like that's from what I see.
But
2 running back system.
They got a dude. They got Kerryon Johnson. They got Johnson and Swift. Those are 2 solid running backs.
Yeah.
Kerryon Johnson and Swift.
But here's the thing. I'm worried. Kerryon Johnson was supposed to be the number 1 until they brought Swift in, right?
Well, hey,
so that's what I'm trying to figure out is
go aside and eat, bro. Look at what they did in Cleveland.
But I was going to say Cleveland and Kansas City are not everybody. There's certain teams that don't mind sharing carries because you're winning. When you're not winning, you get upset about your carries. It is what it is.
You
All
have
right.
the potential. Go ahead.
I got you. All right. Lee says, just a quick educated guess before y'all show is done. Allen Robinson like 2 Instagram posts of Watson going to the Jets. I think Slay gets Watson and Robinson. I'm going to screenshot this as Robinson is a free agent. We'll see. Texans will not trade. Good old boys. I heard Robinson to the Jets also. That's not true. Hey, tell me why it's not true, Greg, with the whole Rams having number 1 defense. You let me know about that. We have Swift. Yes or no. We will make example out of they will make an example out of Watson. Yeah, we'll
I've heard the Jets. I've actually heard Robinson to the Jets. That's been a very popular thing, and I do think that the Jets would like to get Watson. I think now it's going to be how comfortable are they with the package they'll have to put together in order to get him. I do feel what your uncle is saying as far as good old boys and them not trying to make an example out of Watson because. Let's all remember, Cal McNair's dad was the one that said we're not going to let the prisoners run the prison.
So let the prisoners run the asylum.
So let me just say this. Possibly they might try that and say like, oh, we're not going to trade you. But I think if a team comes in with the right package, you can't turn that down. It's hard for me to believe if the Jets put together the kind of package they need to put together that the Texans are going to be like, oh, no, we're going to keep this disgruntled guy and try to force him to play for us. Like, I just don't see that happening. I think they need to let him go. I think Houston sports need to go ahead and just blow it all up. Trade the teams if you can. I saw somebody put up a meme said we need to trade the Texans to San Antonio for 6 Flags. Yeah, probably do that.
Ooh, I don't mind that. Bring back Astroworld. I ain't talking about the Travis Scott version either. Hey, bring back Astroworld for all the kids under 30 and whatnot. Or sorry, maybe over 30. My bad. Over 30 that know about Astroworld.
What we really need to do in Houston, we need to put a package together. We need to say we're gonna trade the Texans, we're gonna trade the Rockets, and even the Astros exchange to Kansas City for the Chiefs and the Royals because we don't care about the Royals. You know they bad again, so it'll be all right. But
at least speak for yourself, sir. You're an adopted Kansas City person, so you speak for yourself.
Hey, at least we get the Chiefs. Let's put.
I will say this. My Houston Oilers learned very, very early how Houston does things, so that's why they went ahead and got up out of Houston. So we're gonna leave it at that. And with that being said, we appreciate everybody for tuning in today.
Thank you guys. Hey, we love when y'all are active in the comments.
Really do. We really do. We appreciate it.
We want to talk with y'all more. We want to interact with y'all more. We love hearing y'all say stuff. Uncle Williams, I know that we was trying to get on you, but we appreciate you bringing the comments, man.
No, I agree. Lee said, I love the interaction increase, and we're going to keep it up. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Since when did anything the Texans make any sense? Never, of course. Jason, they show find him every second. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's not a part of the text. That's part of the CBA that the NFL they've already structured that years ago when it comes to this upcoming decade. The way that players go about missing training camp, that's defines it. That's had everything to do with the CBA. That had nothing to do with the actual teams.
They will be finding them.
Yes.
And if he retires,
they should trade him, but they good old boy rednecks, all that.
If he retires, I think he owes them $21 million, 21 and a half or something like that. So like,
if Deshaun Watson retires, he has to forfeit. He has to void $21.5 million. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be very interesting to watch. Today we got the Pro Bowl today, so if you are tuning in on that,
watch that. Don't watch that. Boo, 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 boo.
We'll see what happens, but
remember, of course, I didn't want to talk about that. Boo, nope. I'm not even gonna let you talk. If you keep bringing that Pro Bowl nonsense up, I'm not even gonna let you talk. Don't watch that nonsense. Boo.
Really? We're gonna watch the Pro Bowl today. All right, let me finish up. Next week, though, seriously. Next week, go ahead and tune in. Next week. I'm sorry, I was going to say tomorrow morning. Next week in the morning, we will of course talk about the Super Bowl 55 Chiefs versus Tampa Bay. We'll have plenty of special guests on, and also if people that's in the comment section, if you want to be a guest on the show and pick who you want to win. Let us know, and we'll definitely get you on the show, and we'll have you guys pick who y'all think will win the Super Bowl. All right. With that being said, are you going to watch paint dry, or are you going to watch the Pro Bowl? Looks like we're going to watch paint dry. All right. With that being said, appreciate everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, thanks, y'all.